Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asad Yaqub and I am from Lahore, Pakistan, and I've started this series of essay writing. So I'm going to tell you further about essay writing and how you can write a good essay. That's what I'm going to tell you. Let's go ahead. Now we will discuss what is a main idea. As we say, there should be a main idea in the essay or in the topic. There is a main idea. Now we will see what is a main idea. So please follow your handouts. A main idea is a key point or argument that relates directly to the question to your position. So main idea is that relates directly to the question or to your position. Means your position on that topic is actually your main idea, right? It's a key point or argument that relates directly to the question to your position. Question to your position means, do you agree or do you disagree? Or do you agree with some part, do you agree, and with some part do you disagree? You only need a few main ideas, but remember that you need main ideas on both sides of an argument. Now in the essay writing, whatever your standpoint is, even if you are in favor of city life, you have to write a paragraph which is called contrast. In the contrast paragraph, you got to tell the examiner the other side of the situation. If you say this is the right thing and this is absolutely right and you are favoring, you are giving information, you are writing example, in contrast paragraph, you got to review this side as well. This side of the subject, this side of the topic as well. But when you give a contrast, again, don't go too deeply into contrast that you go away from your standpoint. For instance, if I say he's a good boy, he's a good boy, yeah, he's a good boy, and I write an essay on that, he's a good boy. In one paragraph I write his qualities, in one paragraph I write his abilities, or I write his good habits, but in one paragraph I will write, however, sometimes he is very nasty as well. Got it? This is called contrast. So I will say that whenever he is angry, he breaks many things, then he doesn't care, right? So I'm giving contrast. I said he's a good boy, abilities and his qualities, but I'm giving contrast. But whenever I'm going to conclude the contrast, once again I will say, although he does all that when he is angry, and he is hardly angry. It's once a year or so, so that doesn't matter. It means again, I'm giving the contrast, but I am taking it to my favorite side. Now for example, if you're talking about city life and village life, and you are in favor of village life, and you want to show the other side of the picture, and you say, although in city we've got the latest health facilities and we got the latest educational facilities, but still that cannot match the beauty of the village, and it is the duty of the government to provide same facilities in the villages as well. You gave a contrast, but again you concluded the contrast in your favor. It should not show that you're going away or you're deviating your standpoint. You have a standpoint, right? And you should not deviate from that standpoint. So anyways, complete these notes which give some main ideas for task B on the previous page, right? We got task B. Advantages. Lessons go at students, at the blank you can write pace of learning. Now these are the advantages of private tuition. If you take private tuition, lessons go at students' pace of learning, and student can ask more questions. If you're taking private coaching, you can ask as many questions as you want to. Now listen, what is this? These are your arguments. Now we are learning about arguments, so you can just write it here. Students can ask more questions and more attention on individuals. More attention on individuals. These are the advantages. Now when you are writing an essay, that's what you are talking about. You are talking about that I will write advantages. There should be 3 or equal advantages and disadvantages. So these are 3 advantages, and you will write advantage number 1 in a sentence, then you will explain the advantage, then you will give an example. For instance, lessons go at students' pace of learning. Now you can say, if you are getting private tuition, you are the only student, so the teacher will go according to your pace. If one day you skip the lesson, the next day the teacher will start the lesson from there. On the other hand, if you skip a lesson at school, then you will miss that lesson. So this is how you got to just go on, and you got to create some relevant examples. For instance, if you take private tuition, for instance, if a student gets private tuition, and then you can explain that. Next is more attention and all that. Now let's see on the disadvantage side. Now these are going to be the paragraphs. 3 advantages, you're going to write them into the paragraphs. Now we'll talk about disadvantages. Cost of lessons. Yes, if you get private tuition, you'll have to pay extra, and sometimes it can be too much. Some teachers charge by hour, right? So cost of lessons, that's the disadvantage of that. If you go to school, you pay a fee and everything is included in that, but if otherwise, you got to pay. Students are already very busy or tired. Now sometimes students, they go to school, then they come back lunchtime, and after lunch, tutor is waiting for the students, right? So they are tired or they are busy. This can be one of the disadvantages. And time needed to travel to tutor's home, if it's not a home tuition. If you have to go to tutor's house, again, first you travel to school, you come back from school, then you have lunch. After lunch, you travel to teacher's house, and then you stay there, learn, study, and then you come back again. So you got to travel 4 times. These are the disadvantages. Now you will elaborate these disadvantages with the help of explanation and example of time needed to travel to tutor's home. You can say, if your tutor lives far from your house, either you have to take bus or somebody has to arrange conveyance for you. Even if you go there on your own bicycle, it might take your energy and you will feel tired and you will not be able to concentrate your lessons when you are learning from a private tutor. Like that. Clear? So these are the points, and you need to explain these points in order to write a good essay. So far so good?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go ahead. What if I don't have any ideas? If you don't have any ideas, then don't go for IELTS test. Stay home, enjoy your life in your native country, okay? What if I don't have any ideas? If you cannot think of your own ideas, think about what you have read on the topic in books or magazines or seen on television. 2 things. One is your own experience, personal experience. Second is the topic, about the topic you read in the books, magazines or television. Now for example, you can just say there was a boy in my neighborhood and he topped in his school, and that was only because of the private tuition. He used to take lessons and all that. So sometimes you can cook up, or we use the word concoct. Concoct means to make something on your own, like the newspaper people do, like the journalists, they do. Right? They concoct the stories, they cook up the stories. So you can cook up some examples as well. Next, how do I make my main ideas clear? Your main ideas should come between the introduction and conclusion. Introduction and conclusion, between that your main ideas. And the main ideas, I just showed you advantages in 1 paragraph, advantages, disadvantages in 1 paragraph. These are the main ideas. So a form conclusion and form the body of your answer. Each main idea should be in a separate paragraph. Remember, in 1 paragraph, we call it the body of your essay. In 1 paragraph, there should be 1 main idea, explanation of that main idea, example related to that main idea, and conclusion of that main idea. Conclusion, that is why, therefore, and then you will conclude that. Got it? Now you got, if you want to understand about essay writing, just look at your hand. You got 5 fingers. This is introduction, this is conclusion, this is body of the essay. In the body of the essay, you've got to describe your main ideas. Main idea number 1, main idea number 2, contrast and conclusion. And remember, your thumb and your small finger, they are small. So it means introduction should be short, conclusion should be short. Here you can explain the things, right, in the body of the essay. Like I showed you, I already showed you 1 introduction and 1 conclusion. So it should be like that, right? In introduction, don't open the topic. Just describe what is your standpoint and why do you have that standpoint. And in conclusion, do not give any example. In conclusion, whatever you have said in these 3 paragraphs, give a small summary of that in 2-3 sentences, and then link it with your standpoint. That's what you got to do. Okay, so how do I make my main point clear? So your main point, main ideas should come between and all that we explain. What are supporting arguments? Now we'll learn what are the supporting arguments. Supporting arguments add extra information to your main ideas. Right? When you explain your main ideas, that is what we call supporting arguments. You should link the main idea to the topic and then support it. I'll give you an example as well. Number 8, underline or highlight the sentence which contains the supporting argument. In this paragraph, it's from task B. So I'll show you this paragraph and you got to see which line is giving the supporting argument. Let's read it together. One of the reasons why private tuition leads to better exam results is the fact that the tutor can teach at the student's own pace. Now this is one point. As we talked about arguments, advantages, so there is one argument. This is not possible in a classroom with a lot of students because there the teacher has to go at an average pace to suit everyone. What is it? This is the supporting detail, supporting argument. One is your main argument and second is your supporting argument. Main argument is one of the main reasons. Supporting argument is this is not possible in a classroom with a lot of students and all that. Got it? And then if you go ahead, you can give an example as well. And then you can conclude the topic. Right? I mean, you'll have to work on it alone as well, but I'm just making up your mind how to write an essay. That's all from my side. If you like this video, please hit on the like button and don't forget to subscribe my channel because I'm trying to develop a huge community of IELTS lovers or IELTS candidates. So you should subscribe my channel. Whenever I'm going to share another video, if you click on the bell button, you'll get the notification of that on your mobile or your laptop as well. And I also teach IELTS online. If you want to join my online IELTS classes, you can be the part of that. For that, my WhatsApp number is given at your screen. You can contact me. And one more thing, I have made this IELTS kit. It's easy IELTS kit. It's got 4 books and 8 DVDs. With the help of IELTS kit, you can prepare yourself for IELTS at home without any teacher, but there'll be I in every video and I'll be your teacher. So if you want to get this kit, you can contact us. Asad Yaqub wishes you all the best. Take care. Allah Hafiz.